Hello, mamas. Throughout history, since the dawn of time, every single generation of humans looks at the previous generation, their parents' generation, and tells themselves that they will not become like them when they grow up. Gen Z people look at millennials, clown on them, look at them trying to make a TikTok of like a bachelorette party where they like transition from their clothes into like their dresses, and the transition is like 4 seconds fucking off, and it's to like a Taylor Swift song. It doesn't even make sense. And then millennials look at boomers that raised them, believing every single news article that they see on Facebook saying that QAnon is behind Starbucks or some shit. And they tell themselves that they won't become that, and then they do, in their own little ways. I'm saying all this because I've seen time after time after time on TikTok, Gen Z and millennial people, let's just say young people, let's fucking group them all together, doing the exact same shit that we clown old people for. We laugh at our parents when they like believe the most ridiculous headline off of Facebook, and then we'll see a TikTok that says, so I just read a study that, and then believe it word for word. That's what we're going to get into today. Media literacy, among other things. Let's begin after this quick break. We may be in a media literacy crisis, but we are also in a people don't have a family doctor crisis. This was me for a very long time. I did not have a doctor for like a decade of my life, which is simply not good. But thankfully, I was able to find one with ZocDoc. This is just the best place to go to just skip the tedious process of finding a good doctor, because ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online, okay? This is booking appointments with thousands of top-rated patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition you're searching for. The average wait time to see a doctor that you booked on ZocDoc is between just 24 to 48 hours. It's crazy. Sometimes even same-day appointments. So, babies, mamas, I want you to stay healthy. Please stay healthy. And you can do that by going to ZocDoc.com/mama and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/mama, ZocDoc.com/mama. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. Let's continue. So the catalyst for this rant that is seemingly coming out of nowhere is I saw this TikTok. It was a stitch of a TikTok. The original video was this lady sitting in her car saying, so I just read a study that apparently 80% of the world isn't self-aware. And I feel like that explains so much stuff. I mean, there's so many people that are just rude and like cut you off in traffic. And I'm a self-aware person and I would never do that. That was video A, to which the lady in video B stitched it and said, what the fuck are we doing here? What study did you read that just says, oh yeah, 80% of people aren't self-aware? That's not even a quantifiable fucking thing. And there's no source for it either. This is like just a person sitting in their car saying, yeah, I read a study that 80% of people actually don't have thoughts. What the fuck? And so many people took it at face value. It has like 800K likes on TikTok. And it's like literally just a conspiracy theory. Let's call it that. I get where this video is coming from. Obviously, there are so many rude and like nonsensical people where a valid explanation for their behavior would be, oh, they're not self-aware. They don't understand it. But 80%, like, there's no study. Apparently there is a study, but it was like taken out of context. Anyways, yada, yada, yada. Basically, video was just complete fake news, false news, just random speculation, falsely attributing a study to this theory. And so many people were just like bandwagoning onto it. And then this person that duetted the video was saying that, like, are we at such a point of, there's like a media literacy pandemic where we just take anything, fucking anything at face value. And I really got to thinking, like, it is beyond fucking true. People, like, so many people around me in my life will just see a TikTok where the poster will, like, say, so I read a study, boom, that's all it takes. Like, it's like 4 words. I read a study. That's 3 words. I was counting syllables. It takes 4 syllables to convince people that whatever you're saying in a video is true, and people will take it at face value. And that is so scary. This really kind of started, I feel, a few years ago when TikTok suddenly became this, like, alternative news source. People would be like, well, I get my news on here because the media won't report what's really going on. And on TikTok it is. It was around the time when TikTok was feared to be banned that people were like, well, I get all my news on TikTok. That's fucking scary. Obviously, news media is not perfect by a long shot, okay? News misses so much stuff. It's biased. It's for profit a lot of time, which makes it not, like, what's the word? Like, it can't think for itself. It's selling things. Blah, 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 blah. It's not a perfect system at all. But then comes along motherfuckers that will just, like, sit in their car and, like, read Twitter headlines and be, like, newscasters. Like, there's this one guy, I don't want to, like, name him because, like, he's very beloved on TikTok, and, like, I'm not trying to, like, shame him, but he's, like, his whole thing is he reads, he breaks the news on TikTok. Motherfucker, there's the fish from SpongeBob that does the news on TikTok, which is, like, now a, like, legitimate, like, news source. It's so insane. It's so crazy. And I think it's good that there's alternatives to regular, like, cable news to get information. But just as corrupt as cable news can be, random people saying news online, saying news things online, are not being vetted. They have no standards. If they fuck something up, like, they can just move on. Like, there's no accountability for it. And so there's so much stuff that just gets said on TikTok that is just not true, and people go along with it. And during this whole scare that TikTok was going to get banned, so many people just adopted TikTok as their news source and as the place where they will get all information and they don't question it. And I'm victim to that too. The amount of times where I've just seen a TikTok and not used my fucking critical thinking skills, all 3 brain cells put together, to question, hey, is this actually real? Is this actually really happening? And I'll repeat it. I'll repeat that information to people in my life. I'll, like, tell my mom about it. I'll tell, like, my roommate about it. It's crazy. And very few times, like, I'll get checked on it. Like, my mom will be like, where'd you hear that? And I'll be like, oh, I heard it on TikTok. And she'll be like, yeah, because, like, that's not true. And then I'll look it up, and it wasn't fucking true. And the video was so persuasive. It felt so real that I thought it was true. And I'm a 24-year-old man that has been on the internet my whole fucking life and literally exist as a job on the internet. Exist having a job on the internet. And I still fall victim to these things. So we are very much in a media literacy pandemic. The fact that anyone can fall for, not that I'm, like, the most strongly willed mega brain person that is, like, immune to any and all news, but, like, it's so easy. It's so fucking easy to just take everything on TikTok at face value. And maybe I talked about this in a previous episode, I don't know, but, like, when I really started to, like, mentally check out from TikTok was when it had this shift from being like a place that was fun and games to where major shifts in society and culture are made. And a shift from it being a place of humor to being a place that's supposed to have legitimacy at every corner. So fucking dangerous. There is, once again, no checks and balances for what you say on TikTok. And I have seen this so extremely personally with the content that I post. I post videos that, I try and make satire, and I miss the mark a lot of the fucking time, especially like 2020 to literally 2022. So much of my content, I was just fucking around and like had fun making videos that were like so obviously fake, and I can't even really call it satire because it wasn't really satirizing anything. I had fun making fun of people that were, making day in the life kind of lifestyle content, and my idea of satire was amping that up to the maximum amount. So say what I'm satirizing, fuck! What I'm trying to satirize is someone being like, hey guys, so today I woke up and then I went to the gym and then I got a coffee and then I had a call with my manager and then so I would like amp that and be like, so today I woke up and then I put dry ice in a toilet and then fucking bombed like my whole sewage system, and then all the sewage spilled into the streets and everyone got salmonella. Like, that was my idea of like satirizing that and having fun with it. And I got it carried away with it for a long time and just like was making the most fucking insane videos ever with no real purpose or goal or soul to them. I was just having fun. And I don't regret it, but like look, I cringe looking back, obviously, as I think most people do. They make content online. Like, you look back even 2 years later and you're like, fuck, what was that? But I see comments on these videos, especially ones that got like re-uploaded to other places. Comments just fully taking these videos at face value. And even to this day, where I really do try to make my videos more of like an actual satire on something, like I'm trying to actively make fun of something by pretending to be it, if you can call that the definition of satire, and people still fall for it. And I guess like if you've never seen one of my TikToks before, or you're just, my TikToks make it on the For You page of people that are getting videos that they're just taking at face value, they're going to just think like I'm trying to be for real. For example, I made a TikTok pretending to put like my nipple on the Las Vegas sphere, and there's so many comments being like, well, this didn't actually happen. Wait, did this actually happen, guys? Wait, I can't believe you put your nipple on the sphere. What the fuck are you talking? We have no media literacy at all on this planet, and it's hard to be frustrated at it, because like I make these videos knowing that will happen, and obviously not everyone is just going on TikTok watching every single video through a critical lens and like thinking, what was this video made for? Why did this person make the video? Is this video real? Like, they're not looking at that. They're just like looking, they're just watching, taking it all in at face value and moving along, not having a single thought about it. And that is one of the reasons why I hate TikTok so much. But I love it at the same time because it's a fun experiment. Don't look at my fucking ankle. I don't know why it looked like a necrotic corpse there for a second. So that's kind of my relationship with how motherfuckers on TikTok don't have like critical thoughts when they scroll through TikTok. We'll be right back after this break. I need to gather my thoughts. So I was trying to find a fog machine for an upcoming YouTube video that I'm working on, and not even Amazon, not even Walmart had 2-day shipping for it. Like, We are living in a time where you can't even get 2-day shipping on things, but what you can get 2-day, not shipping, but confirmation for, is ZocDoc. You can have a doctor's appointment for whatever you need in less than 48 hours on ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. The average wait time to see a doctor booked on there is between 24 to 48 hours. That is it. And thank gosh, because I can go without a fog machine for 48 hours, okay? I can push my video back. I don't even need the fog machine that bad to film my video. I just thought it'd be fun. You know what's not fun? When you have a big old boo-boo and you need to see the doctor and you have to wait 3 months. So thank gosh for ZocDoc. Listen, you can go to ZocDoc.com/mama and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/mama. ZocDoc.com/mama. Let's continue. All right. I feel like I've been very negative on this topic, but I do want to point out the times that TikTok and social media as a whole has been good to have to get information out, specifically most recently with the attacks on Gaza and the oppression of the people in Palestine. That is shit that I was not seeing on cable news. And I think I can't really say that because obviously I'm not watching each news channel every single day and watching entire programs. I mean, I just don't watch cable news like that. And I have seen in very few circumstances them reporting on casualties in Gaza. But that is something that you really only kind of see on social media. You see firsthand accounts. And mind you, a lot of the things that I'm seeing are just citizens posting videos of entire streets just getting shelled by the IDF. But then I switch to cable news and they are not talking about it. They are completely, for the most part, silent on it, or maybe 10% is talking about what's happening in Palestine and 90% is other things. So times like that, it's really hard because sometimes there is no other option. TikTok is the kind of only option to get that info out. As flawed as some of these news accounts are on TikTok and the way they lack checks and balances to be accurate, it's all you're kind of getting. So times like that, especially times like now, it's very good to have, but it's the only option. And I wish there was I mean, I really don't understand what the alternative could be, another social media platform. I don't know, but some way to have unbiased news that shows what's really going on in places where the media won't cover it. And thank God I am not in a position to have to figure out how to make that. But it makes me sad. It makes me wistful for how TikTok was in 2019, where not a single soul was logging on there looking for valuable information, valuable and vetted information to bring into their life. And they were not looking for, influencers mostly existed on Instagram then. It really was a crazy fucking time on TikTok in 2019 because we didn't really have influencers. We had creators and just people just making fun and having a good old time. And then 2020, 2021 comes around and you have influencers, people who are selling a lifestyle and selling their lifestyle, showing their lifestyle as if it is a real thing that happens to people that are just gobbling it up and believing that it's real. And what I mean by that is I think I would hope that at the bare minimum people have the media literacy to understand that influencers' lives are fake, that the opportunities and the things they get to do for the most part are like not real, or at least amped up versions of reality. So, for example, you will see influencers post pictures being like, I just got invited to, what's the fucking movie? I just got invited to the premiere of, let's say they made Paw Patrol live action and everyone was so fucking hyped and Timothy Chalamet was playing the main character. I don't fucking know. You'd see an influencer post, just got invited to the Paw Patrol live action movie. Thank you so much for having me. And people will comment being like, oh my gosh, you made it. Like, you made it to the Paw Patrol premiere. You walked the red carpet. That's amazing. In reality, they got invited to an influencer screening. This is a thing that, like, happens where they will show a movie and set up, like, a literal, like, 2 foot by 2 foot, like, fake red carpet for you to take pictures at like, an AMC theater. And, like, maybe have, like, a cocktail hour. And people will say they got invited to the premiere. It's the craziest thing. It is, like, probably one of the craziest things that I've, like, seen in LA. And I go to them because it's fun. And I love seeing movies fucking early. Because then I, like, list it on Letterboxd and flex on the host. But it's not the actual premiere. The premiere happens with real celebrities in, like, an actual premiere setting with a real red carpet. Now, mind you, some influencers do get invited to the actual premieres. But for the most part, if you're seeing an influencer post that they're at a premiere, check it out, do some digging. You will see that they're at AMC Theater in Burbank. AMC Theaters 16 in Burbank, California. It's crazy. Airing out the influencer industry. But what that whole long-winded example was to just once again, hopefully make sure that we're on the same page, that, like, it is crazy that people are looking at influencers and just, like, trying to buy their lifestyle when a lot of the time these motherfuckers are miserable. Actually, that's the biggest thing. They are miserable. They're, like, selling this, like, beautiful life of happenings and events and travel when they have no clue. They are having an identity crisis, or they are psychotics, or they are narcissists. What are psychotics? I mean, psychotic people. I don't know. It really is crazy. Sorry, this is another tangent, but it really is crazy that, like, there are still people out there that, like, want to be an influencer, I guess you could say. Like, I think that's, like, one of the, like, most sought after jobs for, like, young kids now, which is so insane to me. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I haven't had my fucking influencer moments before. I have done the whole 9 yards. The management company that I was with, like, that I left around the middle of this year, they pretty much only worked with, like, influencers, like, specifically, like, kind of, like, Instagram influencers and, like, YouTube, like, the lifestyle girly YouTubers, whose, like, sole existence was to, like, sell products, and they didn't really make anything of, like, substance. Not sitting here to, like, say that I am the purveyor of, like, amazing fucking content by any means, but, like, I'm talking to you, like, it was literally just, like, lifestyle vlogs and, like, posting story, like, promoting Sugar Bear hair gummies. Like, that was a vibe, and that was a lot of the work that I got when I started doing social media. While I was still trying to do, like, fun, like, creative things that I enjoyed doing, I was kind of, like, looped in with all the other people that were, like, with this social media management company. And so, like, I was doing ads for, like, the most influencery things, and I look back and I cringe. But I have a lot more control, and I have a lot of good people that I work with now, and I have never felt more creative in my life. And when I post on TikTok, even though I rag on it left, right, and fucking center, I'm having fun with it again, and I've kind of rediscovered a lot of joy for it. For example, when there was the whole One Piece thing, people thinking that I was the dude from One Piece, I had so much fun playing with that for a TikTok, like making a clearly obvious satirical video saying that I was like the main character from One Piece's stunt double. And even though to this day I've literally had people come up to me in person and fucking say, like, what was it like being a stunt double on One Piece? I'm listed in the IMDb credits for One Piece as a stunt double because motherfuckers can't watch a full video, but like essentially the TikTok I made was like the first probably 10 seconds you could maybe watch and like think, okay, like I was actually a stunt double on One Piece. But if you have 3 brain cells to rub together, watching from like 10 seconds on, you would understand. Let me actually watch. I'm like trying to remember what the fuck I said in it. It's so it's so easy going back and like watching my TikToks when I've posted like 3 this year.
I quit TikTok 4 months ago because I was cast in this show called One Piece as the main character's stunt double because we look kind of similar, I guess. But I had never done stunts before, so I had to go through months of training before I could fly out to Japan and
already there, wasn't even fucking filmed in Japan.
Be on set and be part of this crazy production. And I was so excited to just be on a TV show until the first day I got injured. I fell 30 feet from some netting and
I think if I fell 30 feet and broke my fucking foot, like I would post about it.
Broke my foot. I got a first-degree concussion, and I wasn't able to continue working. But I noticed in my contract that it said I had agreed to let them take my DNA from my pee during
Who is what?
a routine drug test that I failed, and they were able to use this loophole in Japanese law to create literal clones of me using my...
Okay, so we are 35 seconds in, and I am basically saying that Netflix cloned me against my will and used my clone as a stunt double, and people are watching through that and still believing that I was a stunt double in One Piece. And I know I look defeated saying that, but it is so fucking funny to me. And that alone reignites my passion for TikTok because I want to be, I want to try and just break like this sense of reality on TikTok that people are having. This sense that like content on TikTok is real. If I can just like, I don't even know where I'm going with that, but like, it's just fun. It's just fun for me to put stuff out there that is so blatantly satire and see people like still eating it up, even though I can say that I was like buying human organs on the black market, or Netflix cloned me and used the clone as a stunt double for the One Piece TV show. It's almost an experiment to me to see like what people can like hear and have and like not have it ring bells in their head saying, hey, maybe this is not real. Like, I think that was the most interesting part of that for me, is like literally seeing the limits of most people's brains in terms of like consuming satirical content. So, and I'm not doing this to like play with people's gullibility. I don't think it's like good to trick people, but I don't think I'm doing this maliciously. I'm not trying to trick people, because the proof is in the pudding that the video is fake and it is a joke. In fact, at the literal end of the video, this is like the most un-TikTok-y thing to do. I literally have a scrolling thing of text that says, like, basically showing that the video is not real. And that's the nature of TikTok. People are going to scroll before they see a whole video. And if they haven't immediately picked up that it is satire and they keep scrolling, well then fuck, like, it's too late. They're going to think the video is real. So it's hard to balance. But, like, what I would hope that my amazing sweet mamas that are the most media literate would do is know that you cannot hold any information in your brain from a TikTok if you have not watched the whole thing. And that goes for YouTube videos too, anything else. You have to truly understand the entire piece of media to make sure you are not missing anything. Otherwise, you cannot, like, quote it or pass on the information. You can't watch, say there was a TikTok that said, like, so the iPhone 17 is going to be made of rubber. And then they, like, go on to later say, like, maybe it was, like a prototype that ended up getting scrapped. But you saw that first 5 seconds saying the iPhone 17 is going to be made of rubber. And then you kept scrolling and you, like, tell your auntie, yeah, so I heard, like, the iPhone 17 is going to be made of rubber. Please just, like, don't do that. Please, with all media you consume, just make sure you fully understand it before you pass it along to the best of your ability. It's fucking hard out here these days to understand what is true and what's not. No one cites sources. Duh. This is not like college, but just try your best. But it's fucking hard. And I went on a lot of tangents, but I feel a lot of dread and despair with the lack of media literacy in the world. And I know there's a lot of more important things to talk about, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. I had literally a whole other hour and a half long episode that I did on religion, but then I deleted it because I was like, not the time and place. And also, it ended up being very negative. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing putting this out? So, just being so raw and real with you tonight, sitting on my new carpet that I love so much. That I've been, like, stroking throughout this episode. Anyways, let's read your drama for this week. So, this week's drama comes from Only Bunny. This isn't, like, a specific drama, but they said, you should talk about the concern on how the younger generation can't read, etc. I've been seeing this, like, all these video essays and stuff in my YouTube recommended about how, like, there's all these teachers that are literally witnessing, like, kids, like, in middle school that cannot read, that have, like, been failed by their parents and the education system and, like, cannot read. And I first started seeing this with, like, I think it was, like, panic over, like, they were like, young Gen Z kids cannot read or write cursive. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. Bitch, I cannot write cursive. Never learned that shit. They tried teaching it in one ear, out the other. Is that the saying? Fuck, I don't even know the fucking saying. And I thought nothing of it, but I mean, here's the thing. I don't know what's being taught in schools, and I'm not around children. I have no siblings or anything like that, so I don't know, like, how many of them are, like, illiterate now, but I fucking believe it, because, I mean, I know a lot of millennials, and I know some of their, like, parenting skills really focused on overcorrecting what their parents did, which is, like, being extremely strict and kind of, like, extremely regulating their internet, things like that. And now you have, like people in, like, their late 20s, early 30s who are raising children and just, like, slapping an iPad in their hands, letting them, like, dopamine max on fucking Fortnite, or, like, putting on, like, sensory Cocomelon videos, like, the classic visual of, like, a Cocomelon iPad baby. Apparently those motherfuckers can't read. There's all these TikToks of teachers saying none of my kids, like, they should be at like a 8th grade reading level, because they're in 8th grade and they are at a 2nd grade reading level. What the fuck is going on? Literally, what the fuck is going on? And I don't know, it's scary, and thank God I don't have kids. And when I see shit like that, I think maybe I will never fucking have kids. I don't know. But can you blame the blame, by the way, is not at all on young kids. It is on the parents. And listen, I'm not a parent. I don't know how the fuck to parent. If you handed me a baby right now, would it be alive in a week? I don't fucking know. I'd probably forget to feed it. But I think just like in general, like in society and shit, God, it must be fucking impossible to parent a child. Because ideally, what I would love is to like have my child. I know this is like the like most like boomer, like cringe thing to say, but like I would love to have my kid not be on social media until like way later in life. I would love for them to have like minimal technology and minimal access to social media. But that's impossible. You can't raise a child that like doesn't have an iPhone, doesn't have an iPad, doesn't have social media at all. Like they would get bullied at school, and it would be like very hard for them to like communicate and interface with other people their age, because that is how people are interfacing even at my age. Like I couldn't just delete social media because I have so much contact with my friends through social media. Duh. Like I'm not just using iMessage. So it's like unavoidable. Like the traps and like the trials and tribulations of being online, especially at a young age, you can't protect your children from that. I think you just have to hope that they won't fall prey to the addictiveness of social media, the fucking utter brain rot that comes from social media, and pray that they're able to develop interests outside of that and fucking read and like learn to read, like shit like that. I don't know. This has been a very doom-filled episode. I'm so sorry. I'm curious what your thoughts are on everything I said. And I'm going to go Google the definition of satire, because I feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I love you all so much. If you want to submit drama in a future episode, you can do it on my Discord now at discord.gg/benoftheweek, and go to the Drama Mama channel and say your drama, and I'll read it, or just comment it on the YouTube video version of this podcast. I love you, and I will see you next week. Bye!